Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here in the house, then we'll get into this. Mr. Steven Cicero, my man Chris Hanley, good to see you. Andrew Masad, we have Tim I Am Crypto. Let's see, Sustainable Crypto, what's up, dude? Black Hat Team, good to see you. Dumpster Fire, Zarkov, Carl Coat, what's up, buddy? Good morning. Good morning. Big Black, my man, good to see you, buddy. We have Joseph, what's up, dude? Backwards Miner, DDA 40 X fan _ Bruce. I'm just gonna call you Bruce. Is that easier? Good to see you, buddy. Mr. Pringles, Rude Puts, anybody else I may have missed, I apologize, but let's get into this. All right, crypto looks honestly pretty good. Everything's holding real steady. We have actually, real quick before we get into the prices, Ethereum ETF is actually projected to be or at least 3 of them are projected to be launched next Tuesday for trading, which is kind of interesting. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But Bitcoin, 63,812 bucks. We have Ethereum at $3,400. We've been seeing Ethereum rise pretty quick compared to Bitcoin, at least in my opinion. 3,400 bucks is pretty good. I wonder if it's going to be a buy the rumor sell the news event, or if we're going to continue to chug along on the upwards momentum, just because this coin's much cheaper than Bitcoin in itself, if that makes sense, right? We have Solana 156 bucks, XRP at 54 cents. We have Near Protocol over here at $6.13, up 9.37%. Pretty interesting. You're probably going to cash out some ETC. Go ahead, Nismo Miner, do it, man. What are we at? 23.24. You know what, to be honest though, I think the Ethereum ETF is going to be a good catalyst for Ethereum Classic. That's just kind of my gut feeling, because that's what happened to me back in what was it? I think it was 2018 when I got into it. I bought Ethereum Classic versus Ethereum just because I didn't know the difference, and this one was cheaper. It was like $5 at the time, maybe less. But it's just dumb money. You don't really know what you're looking at, you know what I mean, or what you're getting into. You're just buying it to hopefully, you know, make some money on it. So I think that's just gonna pump it by itself. We have LTC at 71.99. Look at that, 72 bucks, just about 2.64% up on the day. Not too bad. CASP is actually just under 18 cents, 17.8. Looking pretty good. It's still holding strong even though it's in the red. Everything that's in the red is literally down like less than 5%, I would say, right? It's really like 0.3 is probably the lowest in Caspa, right? And everything else is under 5% down. So we're looking really good. Shiba's up real good today, I guess 7%. Pepe's up 25.74%. That's actually crazy. Look at that. Perfect. The Timmy factor. Carl Coat, I need to make that a t-shirt. The Timmy factor, there you go. That is correct, sir. That's what's gonna happen to Ethereum, or Ethereum Classic, in my opinion. All right, let's see. Meme coins popping off this morning, huh? Pepe 23.5. We got Whiff Hat 20.8% up. We have Floki at 13.9. Let's see, Brett is actually another meme coin, 10.4, and Shiba and Bonk 9%, and Shiba's up 6.1. Crazy. Oh, I forgot Popcat 11.5%. Insane. Memes are going nuts today, huh? You know what, it's probably because oh man, what was it, ear stays on or some shit? That's like the Donald Trump like meme coin now. I don't know. Is it on? I don't think it's on this. I have to look now. I had the link yesterday. Nope, I don't think it's here yet, but it was. I think it's a Solana token, if I'm not mistaken. Geek of All Trade sent it to me. It's a riot. So if anybody has the link, please throw it in the chat. But nothing else really jumping out at me. Near Protocol again, 9.9%. I think Near's going to do well. Jasmine's up 10.4%. Nice. Look at that. Almost 3 cents, just under 3 cents. OM Mantra ranked 71. Oh, I don't remember seeing this. They changed their logo. Weird. I don't remember this ticker either. Anyways, 15% up on the day. I don't pay attention to that regardless. Arweave up 9.4%, $27.80. Again, Litecoin up 2.6%, $71, just about 72 bucks. Let's see. Yeah, nothing else really jumping out at me, guys. Nothing really jumping out. We have Fetch AI 4.4% up today, $1.36. What do you guys think about this one? Actually, I'd like to know. It's ranked 27. It's got a $3.43 billion market cap, and I don't know, just I feel like it's been around for a little bit, and it might do well. I don't know, just kind of the AI catalyst to it, right? Sorry, Flashbang. Fear and Greed Index looking like a 65. Look at this, dude. We're going from fear last week 27, neutral yesterday 52, and greed today 65. This is what happens when the market moves too fast. We want a slow climb from here on out. We don't want to have this. We don't want to see the prices jump up stupid high. I know everybody wants to see it break 70K, but guys, when we break that fast, it's not good. It's not good for the market because you're just going to have a rebound. You know what I mean? You're just going to have literally a crash right back to where it's going to be. Anyways, yeah, 65 fear and greed index. This is an overall consensus. The markets, the, you know, YouTube, Google, all the shit that people are searching and stuff. Like, this is like an overall everything. So take that with a grain of salt. All right, let's see. Trending coins over here on CoinGecko. Let me just refresh. All right, we got Tashi over here, 15% up on the day. We have CoinWeb, 6.8% in Solidus. Is that how you say that? AI Tech, down 1.3%. Don't know what that is. I don't know what CoinWeb is either. Tashi, I'm assuming it's just a meme coin. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. Mr. Matt Electron, what's up, dude? Good to see you, Patrick Murphy, as well. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, Lado Staked Ether, XRP, Toncoin, and Dogecoin in 10th place at a $17.7 billion market cap. Cardano is at a 15.3, just behind Dogecoin by about 2 billion, or 2.5 billion or so. It's I think Cardano is an easy 6x, just my opinion. It was 30 cents last week. Hopefully you guys got some Cardano. Again, not financial advice, but listen, go to the max chart. You can see 2017 we had a run up, 2021 we had a run up, 2024, the end of 2024 is just around the corner. It's literally 5 months away, right? We're getting there. So I'd be shocked if we don't see some sort of pump. And even if it doesn't get up to its all-time high, like $3, right? $3.09, it's still 86% down. It's 86% down. I think it's an easy 3-6x. I don't know, it's just my opinion. You guys do what you want. I'm just a YouTuber. Nismo Miner, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. All right, let's see. Scrolling down, where's Casper landed today? Casper's in 28th place according to CoinGecko. 17.8. Sorry, point. I could speak today. 17 cents. All right, it was just 17 cents. 17.8, almost 18 cents. All right, we got a $4.3 billion market cap. Again, this coin's never seen a bull run. I really want to know what's going to happen with Casper and the KRC20 tokens. I want to see. Some people were saying the launch was a little bit premature. But what do you guys think about it? Is anybody trading KRC20 tokens? Let me know in the chat. Interested to know. Ethereum Classic back into the top 30. Look at that. 29th place, 23.27. Is anybody mining Ethereum Classic? I wonder how that's going. You know what? I can't wait to get the solar stuff set up. I actually just got this morning, right as soon as I got home. Actually, I was walking out to drive my kids to camp, and my load center came for my solar setup. Super excited. I gotta go hang that on the wall today. Once I get that hung on the wall, I'm waiting for like 2 more pieces and I can start wiring this thing up. I want to get my Jazz miners on. It's the reason of me talking about this is because I want to get them running on solar, and I want to start mining some more Ethereum Classic. I think it's going to be a solid play. Excuse me, my nose is still stuffy. I'm still getting over this freaking cold. It's driving me nuts. All right, let's see what else we got. Render 39th place over here, $6.42. Dude, this is a big oof, because what in the hell, Render? Start doing something. $2.5 billion market cap. I think Render's gonna do fine eventually. It's just, I looked at my portfolio yesterday. I was like, damn, like I'm down quite a bit on Render. What in the hell? I should probably just DCA into it, to be honest. That's the best play. When it's going down, usually DCA into it, unless it's like a complete shitcoin and you're gonna lose all your money. Please, please, for the love of God, don't DCA into coins that have no future. All right, that's just, it's a stupid move. I've had a cold for over 2 weeks, dude. Randy, me too. Me too. It's awful. My kids were out of freaking camp all last week. It's just been a complete nightmare. Anyways, all right, let's move on to the mining segment of things. Oh, also, Randy, I apologize for overlapping your daughter now. It's unfortunate, but my kids go to camp and I don't have any time before that to stream, so just wanted to apologize because I know it sucks. But I will raid you guys after that. All right, let's get into this. KS5 Pro, you guys don't like to timestamp these units, see where they were at the current moment. We can always come back and look at these like a year from now and just kind of see like, oh crap, this thing used to make this much and now it makes like $1 a day. You know what I mean? So the KS5 Pro over here, 21 terahash unit, made $69.55. We got the KS5 20 terahash unit making $66.24. We got the DR7. This is the Sia coin miner, 127 terahash unit, $61.59. The first two are Casper miners. Again, this is after 10 cents per kilowatt hour. If anybody's new here, we have the KS5 M 15 terahash unit making $46.92 a day. We have the KS5L 12 terahash unit making 35.91. The BMKS Max and the KS6 Dragon Ball miner 11 terahash unit making 30.40 a day. We have the Wind Miner K9 10.3 terahashes making 29.90 a day. The KS3 over here from Ice River 8 terahash unit making 21.70. And the, let's see, the KS3M, I just want to skip down a little bit, 6 terahash unit making 13.87. Bruh. That's kind of bad. But actually, I wanted to ask you guys a question on this KS3M. Does anybody have one for one, and has anybody repasted it? Because I had an issue with somebody repasting one last night that I was trying to help out, and as one of my buddies, and the temperature after he repasted it, the temperatures he was getting was just unreal. So I don't know if it's a shitty ass Noctua paste that he's using, or I don't know, or if he was doing something wrong. I don't know. I told him just to send it to me if he was gonna break it, because I didn't want him to break it. But the temperatures were just like screaming after he changed the paste, and it didn't make much sense to me. But I think it's because it's the, what was it, like MX4 instead of MX6 or something. I don't know. Could have over tightened it. You know what? That might be it, Patrick Murphy, because I told him that too. I was like, listen, just get them all snug evenly across the heat sink. I was like, and then give them like half a turn, and that's it. Don't crank them. I'm like, because you're gonna squish this thing. Everything's gonna come right out of it. It's not gonna work as well. So I don't know if that's what he was doing, but whatever. Let's see. Chump change is your difference between the ERC20 render and the other render that Coinbase is showing. Should we? Oh, you're asking what the difference is? So it's still render, but it's render on ERC20 chain. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Iguana Bytes. They're both the same token, but they're just on a different chain. I don't really know how else to explain that, to be honest. I don't know how else to explain it. But you know what, DM me in Discord if you have any issues, if you have any questions about that, and I can try to explain it a little better. All right, Gold Shell AL box, we got that 3060 over here, $14 a day. So this, don't get me wrong, 180 watts. This thing's killing it for 180 watts. But this thing was making like $30 a day, and then I think it was like 60 bucks a day at one point. I think it was like $100 a day, to be honest, when it first came out. But $14 a day on this Lithium Gold Shell AL box. Okay, over here, let's look real quick. Oh, why am I typing AL box? I'm gonna type in a Lithium. What the hell, dude? Brain fart. What is happening? $1.25. All right. I hope no one's watching this. Supposed to keep it under wraps. There's definitely a new miner coming out. New box miner. One of these. Okay. And it's gonna be sooner than later. And I think it's gonna be double the hash rate. You didn't hear it from me. But if it is, this project is gonna just, it's gonna eat it so hard. It is gonna eat it if they don't pump the price. It's really bad. Oh, did they tweet it? All right, good. Nismo Miner, he told me like a couple days ago, and I was like, I can't say anything. It's supposed to be AL Box 2 or AL Box Pro or whatever the hell they call it, but it's supposed to be double the hash rate. Let me see. I don't think it'll even let me search Twitter unless I'm logged in. God damn it. Hold on. Let me see. Let's go to Twitter over here. Gold Shell. Latest. I don't know how to search Twitter. Oh, here it is. AL Box 2, 720 gigahashes. 720. What are we at? 360. Yeah. So you're looking at double the hash rate on that thing. All right. So I wonder what's the wattage. Does it say? Oh, 360 watts. 360 watts. All right. So it's double the watts, double the hash rate. Okay. So it's double all around. All right. So I don't know. To me personally, I don't think it's a good idea, but it's whatever. If they just want to completely bury lithium, then release it, I guess. I don't know if it's just in pre-orders right now. We're gonna be selling them anytime, or like sending them out anytime soon. But once they do, man, I don't think good things are coming for lithium. This is my opinion. All right, the Antminer, let's see, the L9 16 gigahash unit should be making $19.87 a day. Perfect. Imagine during the bull run how much money this thing's gonna bring in. The Antminer L7 9050, you guys know I got mine hosted down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to them if you're interested in hosting. Links in the description. $7.97 a day after 10 cents per kilowatt hour. I pay a little bit less. I think it's like, is it 9, 8.5, 9.5? I don't know. It's around there. I just pay the bill. But either way, making about $8 a day on a 10-year-old machine, I'll take it. It's really not a bad deal. Really not a bad deal. Let's see, the Gold Shell KA Box Pro 1.6 terahash unit, 600 watts. KA Box Pro, this is new. That's a new one. That's a new one. Look at that. KA Box Pro. I have not seen this one yet. 1.6 terahashes, again, 600 watts, making $4.44 a day. The KA Box, the original 1.18 terahash at 400 watts, making $3.37 a day. Man, why didn't they send me one of these instead of the friggin' Doge 3 Pro? Killing me, Gold Shell. I just want to run this thing in my solar trailer, but I'll be running the Doge miner, I guess, instead. The Jazz Miner X16Q ETC and ZIL is the most profitable, almost 2 gigahashes, $2.70 a day, unless you could solo mine and hit some blocks. I think it might be a viable option at this point if not many miners are on. The KS0 Ultra is actually, I do have this thing running in the trailer. This is like one of the best units, I think, personally, for like just it's a nice beginner miner. It's under 100 watts, or it's around 100 watts. I think mine was like 105. 400 gigahashes, making $1.22 a day after 10 cents per kilowatt hour. But even if you're paying 30 cents, you're still making money on this thing. I don't know, these low miners, I love them, to be honest. It's perfect for solar, at least in my opinion. The iServer KS0 Pro 200 gigahash unit, this is making 49 cents a day. KS0 original 100 gigahash is making 21 cents a day. All right, let's go down to the S19K. S19K Pro over your 120 terahash unit, making negative 31 cents a day. Bruh. Payback time is never, and that's mining BCH. Bitcoin is way worse, so yeah, losing about 50 cents a day, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna keep it ripping, get that virgin Bitcoin. You killing me, Gold Shell, for sending me a free review product. I know, Dan R, I was joking. It was a joke. Kinda. I'm just getting picky.
Fuck, dude, spit on that thing.
All right, let's move on to GPUs. See what we got. We got the RTX 4090. Yeah, don't get me wrong, not ungrateful, I promise. RTX 4090 Graham over here in Nexa. How's Nexa looking? I haven't looked at Nexa in a while. Next up, 14.48%. Nice. A little bit of a pump. If anybody's into Nexa, there you go. Now we got the 170HX Ironfish in Zealous over here. We have the 4080 BTG Ironfish and Pyron and Graham as well. BTG and Nexa for the 4070 Ti. Nice. So it looks like you guys have a decent amount of coins to pick from today. Chlor, how's Chlor looking? Chlor. How is Chlor looking? 4.95% up today. Nice. Dude, you know what? Another one that was popping off. Octaspace. I noticed Octaspace was popping off. $2.04. It hit a new all-time high 7 days ago. It did. $2.39. Damn. Wish I sold out of it, to be honest, just to buy in again when it dropped. But 7 days ago, crazy. Octaspace has been doing really well. It's kind of like a D-pin project, so if you guys are into that, go check it out. You can actually mine that in your ETC miners as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, next to Chlor, looks like you guys have a plethora of coins to pick from today. Besides Firo, I wouldn't mind Firo, but everything else. Sano, Zealous, Ironfish. Yeah, that's pretty much it there. Let's check out CPUs just for shits. Zephyr seems to be the consensus over here. Just double check. Zeph down 2.73%. $3 over here. Let's check out the monthly chart. Yeah, it went down pretty low. Yeah, like low twos, under mid twos. Yeah, almost two. Damn, almost $2. Back up to $3. Not too bad though. I still can't believe that coin went to like 50 bucks. It's crazy. All right, new coins. Let's see what we got over here. If there's anything, no, same shit as yesterday. I still don't know what this key maker is. Never looked into it, to be honest. And I don't know why Bitcoin Gold is here. I swear that was around before. I don't know if they just did a new algo or whatever. If you guys know, let me know. All right, let's move on to the news segment of things, just kind of see what we're looking like. we have the SEC has given a preliminary approval to at least 3 of the Ethereum ETF issuers. Let's see, right down here, you can see the SEC has given preliminary approval to at least 3 of the 8 spot Ethereum ETF issuers to begin trading next Tuesday. I'm not going to read this, but that would be pretty neat. That would be pretty neat if we started trading this next Tuesday. So expect some sort of, you know, pump up too and then sell off. That's what I would guess, but I think I think we'll do all right. I think Ethereum is going to continue to pump. My guess for Ethereum this bull run, anywhere between 5 and 10,000. 5 to 7 is probably a better range, but 5 to 10 is probably where I think Ethereum is going to go. That's just my opinion. I've been holding it for a while. I'm excited to see where it goes. All right, let's move into oh, actually, you know what, hold on, somebody asked something about Mt. Gox, when the sell-off is going to be. Shifts 9 billion. Let's see. Mt. Gox shifts 9 billion into BTC, market braces for impact. Mt. Gox's cold wallet transfers over 140,000 Bitcoin in a significant move after 2 weeks of inactivity, causing the market's concerns. What was this, today? Was this today or 5 hours ago? In 3 hours on July 16th, Mt. Gox has moved over 140,000 Bitcoin. Do you imagine having that much? It's crazy. Worth about $9 billion. Damn. To an unknown cold wallet and 2 unknown addresses. Oh, wait, sorry. To a known cold wallet and to 2 unknown addresses. Weird. Yeah, that's strange. I don't know. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if someone's just holding it. Just going to be holding it, but that's nuts. That is nuts. Anyways, all right. Now we're going to move on. Shutting off this music. Let's go down to Bitcoin jumps following Trump attack. Let's see what Yahoo Finance got to say over here. Guys, that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Bitcoin getting a lift following the shooting attack on former President Donald Trump over the weekend. And with more on the crypto action, let's get over to Yahoo Finance's Jared Blickery. Jared.
Thank you, Josh. You'd have to go back to March to see a better day in Bitcoin. You can see it's up 6.38%. And then we've got some of the other tokens like Solana and Ether up even more. This is a 3-day look. And I just want to point out that Saturday, this was the time of the shooting on Saturday, that unfortunate event. This shot up the price of Bitcoin to almost 60,000, and 60,000 is an important level. This is a 3-day chart. I'm going to zoom out here to a year to date, and then I'm going to highlight the 60,000 price level. You can see it's been a virtual floor for most of the last several months, going back all the way to February, actually. And we did get a breakdown. This was a false breakdown at the beginning of May here. And then we had a more substantial breakdown last week. Actually, 2 weeks ago, this started. And this coincided with the German authorities releasing about 50,000. Well, they're going to eventually release about 50,000 Bitcoin as part of an unwinding event. And so all of those Bitcoin flooding the market, those offset some of the gains that we've been seeing, some of those flows that we've seen into the spot Bitcoin ETFs. And in fact, we saw $1 billion in flows last week alone. We didn't see it impact the price. In fact, we saw price fall off, but arguably that was because the German authorities were distributing those Bitcoins. So all in all, looks like kind of a wash. And we still have this bullish setup, technically speaking, for crypto. So here's Bitcoin. We are back above 60,000. That is bullish. Next in sight, well, you still got to clear about 73,000 to get to ultimate highs. But then you take a look at Ether. This is a similar looking chart, except it did not break down as much as Bitcoin. You can see just a little bit of a breach right there. And then finally, Solana, very different, very similar chart, and bullish looking crypto chart there too, as well, guys.
Wow, that was very bland. All right, let's see. This reporting season is a big test for the markets. Let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC television. Let's do it.
The S&P and the NASDAQ are up 9 in the past 10 trading sessions. Yesterday, Fed Chair Powell helped juice stocks with these comments on potential rate cuts.
We've been very clear that you wouldn't wait for inflation to get all the way down to 2%. Our test has been for the past quite some time that we wanted to have greater confidence that inflation was moving sustainably down toward our 2% target. And what increases that confidence in that is more good inflation data. And lately here, we have been getting some of that.
Join us now to talk markets and earnings, what it all means. Lori Calvasina, RBC Capital Markets, head of U.S. Equity Strategy. We've all, as you point out, been waiting for the rotation trade, which it hit a couple of false starts. But it looks like it's starting again. And you think that might overshadow what is too much complacency and a possible pullback.
Right. I think at this point in time, right, we've seen all these efforts for the market to kind of get away from this big mega cap growth,
right.
AI-driven leadership, back to financials, back to energy, back to small caps. And we've had a couple of blockbuster days in the small caps, and I think that's deserved on the CPI print that we had. I mean, if you look at positioning on the CFTC data, we've been around SVB lows in terms of Russell 2000 positioning. I do think, though, that this reporting season is a big test, and we really need to see this sort of value small cap trade assert itself on the earnings side for investors to really be comfortable, kind of sustaining that rotation beyond just a trade on a couple days.
But do you think the CPI, which is it's good for everybody else, but it could mean pricing pressures for some of these companies?
Yeah, we actually have one chart that we've looked at over the years where we look at company commentary about pricing power, and if you match it up against CPI trends year over year, it's pretty much the same chart. So we kind of come into this saying, okay, we had that soft CPI print, we're all excited. That's good for stock multiples, right? If you have lower inflation, you get the idea that interest rates are coming down, that gooses your multiple. But what does it do to the revenue side? We found about a 98% correlation between S&P revenues and CPI as well. So there are puts and takes. We're going to have to work through some of that, I think, in the coming weeks.
But the inevitable, what you saw is maybe a bit of softness in the stock market. If the Fed is now cutting, then that may take that off the table. We may not have a pullback then.
Right. And, I think we talk a lot about conflicting cross currents. So one of the things, I would say two things that argue for a pullback right now. Number one, seasonality. The last 5 years, August, September, October, we often have some bad months. It doesn't necessarily derail the year, but it does, sort of serve as a pothole, so to speak. If you look at sentiment on the AAII survey, net bulls were at 27% last week. One standard deviation above the long-term average is about 22%. And we're not quite there on the 4-week average yet. We're about 20%. But when you get to that one standard deviation mark, typically you've got a bit of a pothole over the next 3 months. Now, if we look at the Fed cuts, I mean, what's really interesting, the last 4 cutting cycles, you tend to run up ahead of the cuts in the market, and then you tend to see a bit of a sell-off after the cuts. And so, I think we've had so much enthusiasm that's emerged. It's kind of reinforced the idea that maybe we'll get a pothole after we kind of get past those cuts, but maybe it pushes it off a little bit and sentiment can stay elevated for a while.
It always seems like we make some type of low in October, and it's happened again. Not like horrifically scary lows, which, October has a lot of days that start with black for some reason, like Black Monday, black, whatever. But even recently, the last couple of years, the lows were in October, and it could all set itself up for something like that. But we see no indication of a pullback yet, really.
Not yet. And, we had a little bit it's kind of a baby pothole that we had back in April, about a 5.5% drawdown.
What would this one be? What do we need to shake things out? Do we need 10% plus?
I think we need worse than 5, but probably no worse than 10. If you get it to 10% or more pullback, that's typically associated with recession fears starting to percolate. I don't think we're anywhere near that. I think this is just a digestion period we need to see.
Okay, very good. Lot.
Nice. All right, real quick before we go too much further, where are we at? Let's see. Radiant. RXD. Let's see. 17.68%. Mr. Crypto KJ is saying at least the Radiance. What did they do? Their platform didn't break the network like Casplex did. Well, I'm going to show you the difference here, right? This $11 million market cap, $4.3 billion market cap. Not nearly as many people use it, but congrats to people that have Radiant. But that would be a why. The Caspa definitely has way more people using it, which would cause something like that. 11 million is it's poo. All right, let's see what else they got to say over here. A little bit about Trump stuff, and I know he picked a new his VP last night. I forget the guy's name, but is it Trump Vance? Is that his name? Vance? Something Vance? But I don't know. Anyways, let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC.
North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum was on President Trump, former President Trump's short list. Former Vice President joining us now is Governor Burgum, and it's great to have you on. Welcome, Governor.
Hey, good morning. Great to be with you.
We, you know what we do here on CNBC, and we're really fascinated by the economic or populist the way that the party may be moving with this choice. It wasn't you, Governor, I know you got close, but J.D. Vance does signify perhaps a move to more populist economic policies. We've been talking about this most of the morning because those are the things we focus on. Can you address that? And we're talking about things like maybe higher corporate tax.
There we go. J.D. Vance, that's his name.
Maybe a stronger antitrust enforcement division. You know, the vice presidential nominee has complimented Lina Khan. Tariffs. It looks like a different type of conservatism, and maybe it shouldn't even be called conservatism if it were to go that way.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, last night at the convention, such a historic moment, electrifying when President Trump comes into the arena, not even 48 hours after a assassination attempt, that just a millimeter difference, we'd be talking about a very different topic right now. So, gratitude that the president is alive. And
Dude, honestly, though, what a badass for coming out like right after he just got friggin' shot. Like, dude, just think about being that close to life or death and still standing up for what you believe in. It's weird. It's crazy. Like, I would have like PTSD. Like, I'd be scanning the crowd, like so nervous. Wouldn't you guys? Like, honestly.
Because of economic policy, I think that in a second Trump-Vance term, you're going to see the same kind of economic policies that you saw in the first one, where President Trump was his tax cuts for Americans and on the corporate side brought, as you guys know, billions and billions and billions of dollars back home from corporations that couldn't repatriate those dollars back to the U.S. because of high U.S. corporate tax rate. That's good for everybody. And of course, Joe Biden, if he's elected, there's some economic policies to worry about, because he's bragging and saying that I'm going to repeal and let lapse those Trump tax cuts, and that would be horrible for our economy. And so, in the end of the day, this is about an election in November, and President Trump. His economic policies are just stand out so much better than Joe Biden. I think there's no question. In the inflation, high interest rates, those economic issues are going to be what's on the table in November when people go to vote.
Governor, are you familiar with the gentleman we just had on, Orrin Cass, the executive director of American Compass? Because he is they are close with J.D. Vance, with Senator Vance. And he just basically said that lower corporate taxes may not be the way to go anymore, and that to keep taxes low for individuals, that some type of bargain or deal could be done to raise corporate taxes. I mean, the whole platform of American Compass, which apparently J.D. Vance is one of the leading thought leaders for this group, it's very different than classic conservatism. Do you think that by President Trump picking this particular person, does it mean that he is amenable to moving in those directions, do you think?
Well, I can't explain all the thinking behind that, but I would just say the economic policy is going to be set by President Trump and this administration. It wasn't set by Vice President Pence in the last administration. I think you have to look to President Trump. And I think on corporate taxes, if you raise corporate taxes, that's a cost to a corporation. They have to pass it on in higher prices. So consumers end up paying for it either way. And so it's just simple economics.
Governor, our debt and deficits, as you know, have exploded. They exploded under former President Trump when he was the president. They continue to explode under President Biden. Do you have any hope that under former President Trump, if he becomes the president again, that
is it raining there? Did someone just throw a bucket of water at that guy?
changes? And how do you think that?
I gotta look again. Hold on, sorry.
Hope that under former President Trump, if he becomes the president again, that changes. And how do you think that changes if, in fact, you think the taxes either stay where they are or go lower?
Well, I think when you listen to President Trump when he's been out campaigning this last spring, is he's got a real understanding. Yes, we've got a national debt, we've got a deficit, but the one thing under Joe Biden, which Americans need to understand, we talk about our liabilities all the time, that debt. We never talk about the balance sheet on the other side, which is our assets. And of course, Theodore Roosevelt himself put away 240 million acres of land in this country, specifically for the, quote, benefit and use of the American people. And now under Joe Biden, with all the rules and mandates, I mean, we've got the largest landowner in the United States is the people of the United States, because the federal government, through the people, own that land. The largest mineral owner is the people of the United States. But, you know, Joe Biden, they don't want to cut a tree. They don't want to develop rare earth minerals. They don't want to mine uranium. We're buying uranium from Russia. And they definitely are blocking the development of oil and gas resources, which we do cleaner, safer, and better here than anywhere else in the world. So by increasing U.S. production on federal lands, we actually help the global environment. And of course, today, with innovation, not regulation, like we're doing in North Dakota, we can access federal lands with horizontal drilling. We don't even have to set foot on federal land. And then all we're doing is sending checks to the federal government, which would help pay down that deficit. But of course, we're even being blocked right now by this rulemaking of the Biden administration from literally sending money to the federal government without them doing anything. Apparently, they don't want that. So it's when President Trump talks about unleashing American energy, that's accessing our balance sheet. That's going to help us reduce the deficit.
Hey, Governor, one thing, though. Teddy Roosevelt set aside all those lands with the explicit idea of conservation. I mean, I understand being able to drill underneath from a horizontal place coming in, but if you're talking about strip mining and taking some of that land and using it to get at the rare earth minerals underneath, that is not what Teddy Roosevelt had in mind when he created those parks.
Well, I have to disagree with you, because it was very clear at the time, you know, when he talked about the strength of our nation, he understood those assets should be there. And he's quoted over and over saying that conservation is as much about development as it is preservation. Biden administration, they're about preservation. Don't set a foot. Don't walk on it. Don't have anything go on it. Teddy Roosevelt was about sustainability. And when we do it in the United States with the rules that we have, and the reclamation capability that we have, versus China tearing up Indonesia, tearing up Central African Republic, tearing up their own country, destroying their environment. You know, if we think that we're just helping the environment by getting all of our EV batteries from China, that's just completely false.
Hey, Governor, given
but it's not going to help doing it. Like, what? What is this guy saying?
No, it's not. It is also vandalism wantonly to destroy or permit the destruction of what is beautiful in nature, whether it be a cliff, a forest, or a species of mammal or bird. I mean, those are words of his, too. I understand your point, but I don't want to take that away from what he created and set up.
Well, I think we understand that well. We're building a presidential library for Theodore Roosevelt in North Dakota at the entrance to the Theodore Roosevelt National Park, the only park named after an individual. So we understand his legacy. But when you talk about 240 million acres, or even like now with the Biden administration, what they're doing to block energy development in Alaska, which was the U.S. Strategic Navy Petroleum Reserve. I mean, part of how we won World War II was a battle over resources. You know, our submarines sinking every oil tanker going to Japan at the end of the war, they were out of resources. And then now up there, you know, the Biden administration was attacked by the far left for the Willow Project. And that was the equivalent of about 3 square miles. It's like barely a couple golf courses out of an area the size of Indiana. I do believe that we can make those trade-offs and say, if we can take an infinitesimal small amount of federal land to access resources,
but Governor, just to
versus
be
us
clear
being
of what
dependent
Teddy
on
Roosevelt
our
had
enemies.
in mind, in the Grand Canyon, Arizona has a natural wonder which is in kind, absolutely unparalleled through the rest of the words. These are his words. I want to ask you to keep the great wonder of nature as it is now. I hope you will not have a building of any kind, not a summer cottage, a hotel, or anything else to mar the wonderful grandeur, the sublimity, the great loneliness and beauty of the canyon. Leave it as it is. You cannot improve on it. The ages have been at work on it, and man can only mar it. I mean, say what you want about it, but don't use Teddy Roosevelt as the reason for doing it.
Damn. Becky was getting into him this morning. Is that her name? I think it's her name. All right. Anyway, CNBC Crypto World. Let's get into some crypto news. See what they got to say over here on CNBC television. Guys, that like button, please. 31 likes. You guys could do better. Damn.
Today, Bitcoin
she did on him.
jumps to the $63,000 level to kick off the week. BlackRock's Larry Fink tells CNBC he's now a, quote, major believer that there's a role for Bitcoin in portfolios. And former FBI Special Agent Jason Hogg discusses the spike in crypto ATM schemes.
Yeah, he's a believer because he believes in money. He wants to make money.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Jordan Smith. Crypto prices in the green to start the week, with Bitcoin trading back above $60,000. As of noon Eastern, the cryptocurrency shot up nearly 5% to the $63,000 level as markets see increased odds of an election victory for the presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump, who's been vocal about his rising support for crypto. Ether climbed more than 5.5% to $3,369, and Solana advanced about 5% to $153. Crypto-focused stocks also saw a bump this morning, with Coinbase jumping nearly 11% and MicroStrategy soaring nearly 15% as of midday. Bitcoin miners saw big gains too, with Riot rising nearly 9% and CleanSpark and Marathon Digital both surging more than 11%. Now, last week, Bitcoin was trading below the $60,000 level, but the cryptocurrency's value has risen since the failed assassination attempt of Trump on Saturday. Investors see an increased chance of a Trump victory in the upcoming presidential election, impacting a range of markets, including crypto. The former president has recently positioned himself as the crypto-friendly candidate, with his campaign announcing in May that it was accepting crypto donations. Also, Trump is scheduled to speak at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville next week.
The VP is also crypto. He's like pro crypto, right? If I'm not mistaken. So that's a good thing.
All right, let's talk about the top stories. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says Bitcoin has the potential to be a way for everyday investors to guard against significant government turmoil. The head of the world's largest asset manager told CNBC's Squawk on the Street this morning that he sees a future for Bitcoin after previously being a proud skeptic of the cryptocurrency.
I studied it, learned about it, and I came away saying, okay, my opinion 5 years ago was wrong. Here's my opinion today. This is what I believe in today. I believe the opportunity today. I believe Bitcoin is legitimate. I'm not trying to say there's not misuses like everything else, but it is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to have maybe uncorrelated, non-correlated type of returns. I believe it is an instrument that you invest in when you're more frightened, though. It is an instrument when you believe that countries are debasing their currency, debasing their currency by excess deficits, and some countries are. I believe we have countries where you're frightened of your everyday existence, and if you have an opportunity to invest in something that is outside your country's control, then you can have more financial control. And so I'm a major believer that there is a role for Bitcoin in portfolios. I believe you're going to see that as one of the asset classes that we all look at.
Now, BlackRock
into that. Perfect. Oh yeah.
BlackRock has become a significant player in crypto. In fact, the firm's iShares Bitcoin Trust has raked in more than $18 billion since its launch in January.
He thinks it's going to be one of them. Man, that's crazy.
It's the largest Bitcoin ETF. The firm has also filed to potentially launch an Ether ETF, and we're expected to learn if those products will get the green light to start trading in the US any day now. Next, Tornado Cash co-founder Alexei Pertsev, who was found guilty of money laundering a couple of months ago, was denied bail by a Dutch court. That's according to international news outlet DL News, which reported on Friday that a court of appeals in the Netherlands ruled that the developer behind the crypto mixer will continue to be detained and will not be allowed to access a computer, internet, or data. According to DL News, Pertsev's lawyer says he needs to be out on bail so that he could prepare to appeal his guilty verdict, but that the court argued that his continued detention should not obstruct his ability to prepare his defense. Pertsev was reportedly sentenced to more than 5 years behind bars for laundering hundreds of millions of dollars in stolen and hacked crypto through the Tornado Cash crypto mixer. Last, a major Cambodian payments firm reportedly received crypto worth more than $150,000 from a wallet used by North Korean hacking group Lazarus. That's according to Reuters, which cited blockchain data reviewed by the news outlet. Huiyuan Pay, which offers currency exchange, repayments, and remittance services, reportedly received the crypto between June 2023 and February of this year. The funds came from an anonymous digital wallet that was used by Lazarus to deposit funds stolen from 3 crypto companies in June and July of 2023, mostly via phishing attacks. Reuters reports the company had not known it received funds indirectly from the hacks and cited the multiple transactions between its wallet and the source of the hack as the reason it was unaware. In August of last year, the FBI warned crypto companies of blockchain activity connected to the theft of hundreds of millions of dollars in crypto, and that the agency identified that the crypto was stolen by the Democratic People's Republic of Korea's affiliated actors known as Lazarus Group and APT38. All right, turning to the rise in crypto ATM scams for our main story. I spoke with cybersecurity expert Jason Hogg, who is an executive in residence at the private equity firm Great Hills Partner and a former FBI special agent, about the growing trend. He breaks down why criminals are targeting crypto ATMs and the challenges associated with recovering the stolen funds.
Would you guys ever use a crypto ATM? Has anybody used one here? I don't see the purpose, to be honest. You can do everything on your phone.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Crypto ATMs have been a topic for us on Crypto World in the past. Last year, we explored the growth of them around the globe, and at the time, the number of installations had actually slowed. But heading into 2024, Coin ATM Radar shows that installations are climbing once again. And I'm wondering if you could talk about the growth of this industry, and particularly the trend of criminals using them to scam people or launder money.
Absolutely, and thanks for having me on. The thing that we're seeing is there's three prevailing trends. The first is that QR code manipulation is becoming a thing. This is where the fraudsters are taking the QR code on the screen, replacing or overlaying the legitimate QR code with their own, and then they're redirecting the crypto transfers to their own addresses. Like you said, as the ATM machines are becoming more prolific, so are fake crypto ATMs, and the fake crypto ATMs are designed solely for the purpose of capturing people's private keys. And then the other thing is we're seeing with the rise of crypto ATMs, yet another example of social engineering where fraudsters are impersonating authorities to get people's private keys.
You mentioned there how they're manipulating the stuff that's happening on the screens or around these ATMs with QR codes. And it makes me think about one of the things we covered at the time when we were looking at ATMs was a lot of them were implementing warnings or some sort of sign to tell people about scams or illicit transactions. How effective do you think ATM operators themselves have been at stopping criminal activity? And how does that compare to something like, say, a MoneyGram or a Western Union and how they combat scams? Because a lot of times you go into these stores and they have pretty apparent warnings, and the people working there are pretty clear about avoiding scams.
Right.
Mr. Rude Putz, thank you so much for the €249. You're awesome. He said, "Where is DJ Mines? Thanks for keeping the stream alive with a bunch of beers and party emojis. Appreciate you, buddy. What's up, Mr. Hawk Crypto? Good to see you, dude."
For me, I sum it up in two words: independent confirmation. I think it's really important for the consumer to take it upon themselves. Warnings and things that look real and or official sort of only get it part way. I think first you need to check and validate from the crypto community or official company websites, the ATM themselves or the location of the ATM. Second, I think it's very important to double check the QR code details on the ATM screen and that address matches before you actually complete a transaction. And then lastly, you should approach this generally being skeptical of anything that's an unsolicited request or a link for private information. And we as consumers need to make sure that we're independently corroborating things and reaching out on our own to official channels or websites to make sure that these are actually legitimate locations.
That goes to a question I had for you about, whether this is a regulation problem or if this is an education problem. And it sounds like, you're mentioning ways that people can be more aware. Where do you feel like we are in terms of educating the public on how these ATMs work, but also how these scams proliferate?
I think we're in the second inning of the game. It's very early right now. And I think what ends up happening is that oftentimes the technology ends up actually accelerating faster than the regulations and law enforcement can keep up. And so fraudsters are operating in an unrestricted manner. So they're doing everything that they can without any rules in order to perpetrate a fraud. And so it takes a little bit of time for law enforcement and the regulations to catch up to put systems and also different techniques in place to combat the fraudsters.
Keeping with that idea of law enforcement, how prepared...
Mr. Joker Miner, thanks for the $2 super chat. It's been a while since I donated. Got a KS0 Ultra. Dude, good for you. That's awesome. Hell yeah. And thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Are they for this kind of crime? I'm thinking about this because there was a body cam video that went viral just the other day of a police officer stopping a woman from sending, tens of thousands of dollars in Bitcoin to a scammer on the phone pretending to be her bank. As these crimes become more common, do you feel like law enforcement on the local or national level are prepared for this?
I think that they're constantly in a process of learning and then educating the public. The good news is that this is just the next evolution. Financial fraud, crime, ATM fraud has been around since the 1980s when they were originally put into place at mass scale. And so the good news is we're not starting from scratch here, but rather getting caught up on what the latest techniques are and what fraudsters are doing. So it's a constant iterative process, and it's a constant battle.
Final question about industry cooperation. You know, on the show, we've talked with blockchain analytics firms, Chainalysis comes to mind, about how they track down criminal activity on the blockchain. Do you think that there's enough cooperation between the industry through these analytics firms and crypto exchanges and law enforcement to help recover funds?
I think that it's getting much, much better. If you look back only 10 years, 5 years even, it was the Wild West, and there wasn't much collaboration going on. People weren't cross-pollinating ideas. Now information sharing is getting much better, and people see fraud being perpetrated in a particular vertical or industry, and they're communicating it and then coming up with remediation steps. So it's going to continue to evolve, but we are leap years ahead of where we were only 5 years ago.
All right, that's all for Crypto World today. We're back again.
All right, shout out to CNBC Crypto World for that. All right, last but not least, let's get into the altcoin dailies video. I want to see what he has to say about this whole BlackRock and Larry Fink thing in Bitcoin. Let's see what is going to happen over here, guys. That like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
As you know, I was a skeptic. Yes. I was a proud skeptic. And I studied it, learned about it, and I came away saying, I believe Bitcoin.
BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, the man in charge of the largest asset manager in existence, reaffirms his belief in crypto.
You have been a leader in willing to embrace crypto. You have made it so that people can be in Bitcoin. We hear that you are thinking about Ethereum.
Watch today's whole video. We'll talk Bitcoin ETF inflows, BlackRock's investment in Ethereum, Trump's new vice president, is he pro-crypto, and more.
Now, BlackRock is not known as a gunslinger by any means, so you obviously must believe.
But first, in Larry Fink's own words, on why he believes in Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto.
As you know, I was a skeptic. Yes. I was a proud skeptic. And I studied it, learned about it, and I came away saying, okay, my opinion 5 years ago was wrong. Here's my opinion today. This is what I believe in today. I believe the opportunity today. I believe Bitcoin is legitimate. I'm not trying to say there's not misuses like everything else, but it is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to have maybe uncorrelated, non-correlated type of returns. I believe it is an instrument that you invest in when you're more frightened, though. It is an instrument when you believe that countries are debasing their currency, debasing their currency by excess deficits, and some countries are. I believe we have countries where you're frightened of your everyday existence, and if you have an opportunity to invest in something that is outside your country's control, then you can have more financial control. And so I'm a major believer that there is a role for Bitcoin in portfolios. I believe you're going to see that as one of the asset classes that we all look at. I look at it as digital gold, as I said before, and I do believe there's a real need for everyone to look at it as one alternative to, I would say, the optimism that I have in the world. If you want to hedge hope, Bitcoin is not an instrument for hope unless you're hopeful you're going to make a lot of money on it. But I look at it as a vehicle in which you're expressing your financial acumen in something that you're more frightened of the world, you're more frightened of your existence. And I believe there's a great industrial use for it. And I think a lot of people are missing that.
I couldn't agree more. I changed my mind about it when you did. You admitted my thinking. It was like, you don't believe it. So
I can't stand this guy. This guy is he's a cringy mofo, Mr. Kramer.
I can't believe it. I want to thank Larry Fink for the message of optimism.
Now, breaking news as I'm recording today's video. The SEC has just requested the final S1 submissions for the Ethereum ETF launch, meaning the ETFs are happening, specifically Tuesday, July 23rd. And in an update from Bloomberg's senior ETF analyst, Eric Balchunas, he says, Nate's instincts were right. Nate claiming the week the Ethereum ETFs would get approved. Eric responding, Nate's instincts were right. Hearing SEC finally gotten back to issuers today, asking them to return final S1s on Wednesday, including fees, and then request effectiveness on Monday after close for a Tuesday 7/23 launch. This is provided no unforeseeable last-minute issues, of course. So buckle up.
They're going to do anything they can to approve all of these ETFs and everything else just because, I mean, let's be real, Joe needs a fighting chance. If Gensler doesn't start approving shit and making things happen, it's just another, another sway the opposite way, I guess.
Up if you're an Ethereum holder. We know ever since BlackRock and the other issuers launched the Bitcoin ETFs, there's been heavy buying. Just in, the Bitcoin ETFs break new all-time high for total inflows with $16.35 billion since launching in January. Will we see something similar once the Ethereum ETFs go live? My speculation on all this, the headlines will probably be 1 week out, 2 week out. Ethereum ETFs underperform, meaning I don't think we're going to see quite this much demand for Ethereum yet. My reasoning for saying something like this is because back in 2023, when the Ethereum Futures ETF launched, again, that was after the Bitcoin Futures ETFs launched, the Ethereum Futures ETFs fail to dazzle on debut. They underperformed back then versus the Bitcoin Futures ones. So I am hoping for the best, but anticipating potentially the worst. Again, just on the initial launch. Long term, after the headlines in the first few weeks, I do expect there to be heavy demand. Also in breaking news, this just happened, Donald Trump picks crypto-friendly J.D. Vance as running mate. The Ohio senator reported holding over $250,000 worth of Bitcoin back in 2022 and has supported specific pro-crypto legislation. So this specifically is how J.D. Vance is pro-crypto and why the crypto community is starting to get bullish. J.D. Vance is Trump's VP pick and the likely next vice president. He strongly supports crypto. He voted for SAB 121 repeal. That was huge legislation, which didn't end up going forward, but he voted in the pro-bullish stance. He voted in favor of a joint resolution to overturn a Securities and Exchange Commission rule on banks reporting crypto as a liability on their balance sheet, legislation President Joe Biden vetoed. So again, he took the pro-crypto stance. He's also a holder and owner of $250,000 of Bitcoin a couple years ago, likely more now. He slammed Gensler in open letters, just further evidence that the Trump White House is pro-crypto. And in altcoin news, ChainGPT launches ChainGPT Labs, the ultimate game changer for Web3 startups. Basically, this is an incubator for Web3 projects. Just as a reminder what ChainGPT is, they're ranked number one.
He's going to say, we're a partner of this in like 2 seconds.
One for Web3 AI infrastructure. It's an AI altcoin / platform offering a suite of AI tools. And the news today is this, ChainGPT Labs is here, offering strategic guidance, marketing support, and financial
probably
backing.
A shill, yeah.
ChainGPT Labs redefines the standard for nurturing Web3 projects and what crypto projects applying can expect to receive. With typical investments.
All right, I'm not going to listen to this because he's definitely just shilling this.
And news for social tokens. Spain National fan token slides 20% after UEFA Euro 2024 win. Fan tokens are known to see anticipatory gains and then post-tournament losses. A little case of buy the rumor, sell the news for fan tokens. Because on Sunday, Spain defeated England in the finals of the UEFA tournament. And even though they won, the coin tanked on that news. And just a reminder, the national team launched the social NFT token in 2021 in partnership with the Royal Spanish Football Federation and the Turkish blockchain platform Bitsy. The token aims to enhance fan engagement and deliver a privileged experience for sports enthusiasts and investors. Yet, even though they got some perks for holding it, the main use case, it seemed, was speculation, as prices surged just over 70% to about 3.8 cents in the 3 days leading up to the final, and then after they won, the price tanked. Just something to keep on the radar for the future. And finally, I pose this question to you. What are BlackRock's top 5 altcoins to buy now? This is on the Roundtable app. There's a link down below.
No one cares. All right. Anyways, shout out to Altcoin Daily for the daily shills. Love it. All right, let's move on. Recap segment of things. If anybody's just joining, looking like a 63,645 Bitcoin. We have Ethereum at 3403. XRP is booming up at 7% to 56 cents. ADA at 43 cents. Near is up $6.09, 9.27%. Solana is up 155 bucks. LTC $73. I'm actually stoked about my purchase on LTC last week at 60 bucks. It was a good buy. We got Caspa at 17.8. Man, I don't know why this keeps doing that on me now. Every single time. Dogecoin, we got 12 cents over here. Pepe is up 24% today. Shiba is up 6% today, 6.17. Whiff, Dog Whiff Hat is up 22.52%. Crazy. Nothing else really jumping out at me. I guess Injective 5.82% is doing pretty well, $23. Crypto Bubbles, just check out the biggest earner of the day. Seems to be Pepe, actually 22.9% it says over here on Crypto Bubbles. Jasmine's doing pretty good, 10% up. Whiff again, 21.8. Arweave over here, 11.1, $28. Not too bad. Flashbang. Fear and Greed Index is at a 65. Went from fear last week to neutral yesterday, 52, and today, 65. So again, that's an overall consensus of everything in the market. Again, Radiant is doing pretty good. Actually, let's refresh this. I know Hawk's holding some Radiant. 16% up on the day, buddy. We're interested in getting rid of it. I'm just kidding. I don't know how good Radiant's gonna do, but I've never been into Radiant. I just never have, to be honest. But hopefully it does well. Hopefully you guys make some money on it. Let's see. Trending coins still Tashi. We have Solidus AI Tech down 2% in Ben QI. I don't know what that is. 2% up. Interesting. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it. That is gonna do it. I have some stuff to do, so it's time to get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great, happy, and safe Tuesday. We're gonna go raid Miss Randy Hipper. She is I think she's still alive, so we're gonna jump over there and see what we can do for her. You guys hopefully have a great, again, happy and safe Tuesday. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning about 9:15 ish Eastern Standard Time, and until then, peace out. Have a good day.
Eat shit, Gary.